Gotti brother, Big Jock, went on live and basically clowning Young Dolph, man, and basically telling, if you don't want to f up your bag, come sign the CMG. Nah, y'all collecting souls or whatever. I ain't with it. No, bro. But this shit is sad, man.
Yoti's brother, Big Juke, got slaughtered outside that Memphis funeral in January 2024. The streets immediately pointed fingers at Young Dolph's camp seeking revenge. But shocking claims now link Moneybagg Yo to the execution. Did CMG's biggest star betray his own family? And what role did he really play? I've got the full story. Let's get into it. The day Memphis lost a real one. Yo, when the word hit the streets that cold January morning in 2024, the whole hip-hop world went crazy. Fam, Memphis, Tennessee, a city that's already been through way too much pain and bloodshed in the rap game, got hit with another tragedy that had everybody's head spinning. Anthony Big Juke Mims, the big homie and older brother of Memphis legend Yo Gotti, got smoked in what the police would later call a straight-up hit job, a calculated assassination that wasn't no accident. This wasn't just another body dropping in the streets. Nah, this was a deliberate setup, a professional move that sent shockwaves through every hood in Memphis and had the entire rap community asking questions that still ain't been answered. So, man, hey y'all, I'm going to start a GoFundMe, man, cause I know a lot of you wrap up out here. Man, can't do no shows, ain't save no money. So, guess what? I'ma come save the day. I'ma come pay you rent if y'all got somewhere to stay. Let me break down the whole situation for y'all real quick, cause Big Juke wasn't just Yo Gotti's blood. My mans was a major player, moving in silence. He was one of the main dudes behind Collective Music Group, the CMG camp that basically runs Memphis rap right now. Big Juke was the plug for a lot of these artists, the one scouting talent, putting people on and making sure CMG stayed on top. We talking about him being instrumental in putting on artists like Moneybagg Yo, Black Youngsta, and Gorilla. These are names that's blowing up worldwide. And Big Juke had his fingerprints all over their come-up. He wasn't trying to be in the spotlight like his little brother Gotti. But don't get it twisted. Big Juke was a boss, moving behind the scenes, pulling strings and making major moves that shaped the whole Memphis sound. He reached out, do you know what I'm saying? Like big bro really, like my mentor. Tell me what I should do in situations, and he just really showed me the way. So check it on that Saturday afternoon, January 13th, 2024. Big Juke was at what was supposed to be a peaceful gathering, a funeral repast for a local cat named Eric E. Allen at Paranon Restaurant and Event Center. Everybody was there to pay respects, to mourn, to show love to the community. It was supposed to be one of them moments where the streets could come together in peace. But the ops had different plans, and what went down next turned that whole spot into a crime scene that the feds and the Memphis PD still trying to figure out. Word on the street and from the initial police reports out of the Memphis Police Department is that multiple shots just started ringing out while Big Juke was outside the venue. The shooters weren't there by mistake or on no random tip. Nah, bam, this was targeted. The authorities made it crystal clear from jump that this was a hit. Plain and simple. These dudes rolled up with one mission and they executed it in broad daylight, showing they wasn't scared of nothing or nobody. That's the type of brazen, calculated move that lets you know this wasn't no amateur hour. Big Juke caught multiple shots from the burner, getting hit several times by the spray. Another homie who was with him that day also got hit but survived, though he was in critical condition fighting for his life. But for Big Juke, there wasn't no coming back from that. They rushed him to the hospital, but the damage was too severe. Anthony Big Juke Mims was pronounced dead, leaving his whole family, the CMG crew, the Memphis community, and the entire music industry in shock and mourning. Now, here's where get real messy and frustrating for everybody trying to get justice. The Memphis PD quickly dropped surveillance images of what they believed was the getaway whip, a white Ford Explorer. Mad witnesses who was at the scene that day all said they seen this white truck peeling out from Paranon right after the shooting went down. The police put them pictures out there, hoping somebody would recognize the vehicle or come through with information that could lead them to the shooters. But here's the problem that's been plaguing this whole investigation since day one. The whip in the surveillance footage ain't have no visible license plate, no identifying features, no real way to track it down using regular methods. And yo, this is where we get to the most troubling part of this whole situation. As of August 2025, and we talking about over a year and a half after Big Juke got murdered in cold blood, the Memphis Police Department ain't publicly named. Not one suspect, not a single arrest been made, not one person been brought in for questioning. At least not that the public knows about. The investigation been described as ongoing by the officials, but to anybody watching from the outside looking in, this case looking like it's stuck in neutral, going nowhere fast. The MPD kept putting out calls to the public for help, telling people to hit up Crime Stoppers at 901,528 cash if they know anything. promising they can stay anonymous and all that. But the street's been quiet on this one. And as we move into early 2026, when you search for updates on Big Juke's murder case, you find basically nothing new. No breakthroughs, no arrests, no justice being served. Just another unsolved murder case that's joining the long tragic list of bodies that keep dropping in Memphis hip-hop. But peep game, when law enforcement ain't got no answers and the case staying cold like that, it creates a vacuum. You feel me? And in this social media age we living in, when there's a vacuum like that, it gets filled with something. It gets filled with theories, with gossip, with rumors, and straight up cap. And that's exactly what happened after Big Juke got hit. The streets started talking heavy. Social media went absolutely nuts with speculation. YouTube channels started pumping out video after video, each one making wilder and bolder claims about who did it, what the motive was, and who was about to get locked up. Some of these theories at least had a little bit of connection to the deep beef and rivalries that have been brewing in Memphis rap for years. But other theories, Manthem was completely made up, designed to get clicks and views rather than actually spit facts or help people understand what really went down. To understand why this case became such a breeding ground for rumors and why certain names started getting thrown around immediately, you got to understand the bigger picture of what'd been happening in Memphis hip-hop for years before Big Juke got clapped. This wasn't some isolated incident happening in a peaceful environment where everybody getting along. Nah, this was just the latest chapter in a saga of violence, street beef, and tragedy that'd been unfolding across Memphis for damn near a decade. The Memphis rap scene, which used to be celebrated for keeping it real and telling authentic street stories, had become known more for real-life violence that was taking lives at an alarming rate. We talking about more than a dozen incidents connected to rap beef since 2021 alone. The city's hip-hop community was dealing with actual street warfare, not just the lyrical beef that plays out in diss tracks and Instagram posts. So Yo Gotti brother Big Chuck went on live and basically clowning Young Dolph man, and basically telling ya, if you hear me, if you don't want to up your bag, come sign the CMG and y'all collected souls over that. I ain't with it no, but this is sad man, and at the center of a lot of this violence was the beef that had been simmering for years, the rivalry between Yodi's collective music group and the late Young Dolph's Paper Route empire. This wasn't just competition over who was the king of Memphis or who had the hottest tracks. This was something way deeper, way more dangerous. Something that would end up costing multiple people their lives and tearing the Memphis rap community apart. Young Dolph, born Adolph Thornton Jr., had been Young Dolph was widely regarded as one of the realest to ever come out of Memphis. He built his legacy independently, refusing to bow to major labels or industry pressure, and instead created his own empire through Paper Route Empire. Dolph's success wasn't just about music, it was about ownership, freedom, and proving that artists could win without selling their souls. He was making serious money while staying independent, and that inspired an entire generation of young artists who saw him as proof that there was another way to succeed in the game. That legacy was brutally cut short on November 17, 2021. In broad daylight, while simply stopping to buy cookies at Makeda's Homemade Butter Cookies in Memphis, Young Dolph was gunned down. Surveillance footage later revealed two men entering the store and opening fire, killing one of the city's most respected and successful artists. The shocking nature of the murder sent ripples through Memphis and the entire hip-hop world, sparking grief, outrage, and years of unanswered questions. As the case moved through the courts in 2024 and 2025, the trial revealed explosive testimony that added a darker and more complex layer to the story. Prosecutors and witnesses, including one of the accused shooters, Cornelius Smith, alleged under oath that Big Juke Gotti's older brother and a key figure within CMG had placed a $100,000 bounty on Young Dolph's head. These claims weren't social media rumors or street gossip. They were statements made in a courtroom, under penalty of perjury, with serious legal consequences for lying. According to testimony, Big Juke allegedly used a middleman, Hernandez Govan, to coordinate the hit. Prosecutors presented phone records showing communication between the involved parties around the time of the murder, as well as claims that money had exchanged hands for prior attempts on individuals connected to Dolph's camp, including someone known as Paper Route. The narrative presented in court painted Big Juke as a central figure who allegedly escalated a rap rivalry into violence. What makes Big Juke's own death even more suspicious is a critical detail that can't be ignored. Despite being named during sworn testimony as a suspected organizer of the hit on Young Dolph, Big Juke was never formally questioned by Memphis police. He was considered a suspect, but before investigators could bring him in, he was killed. Just months after his name became publicly linked to the Dolph murder in court, Big Juke himself was gunned down in what many described as a calculated, professional-style execution. The timing immediately raised red flags. The internet exploded with speculation, theories, and accusations, and as often happens in high-profile cases with limited official information, Social media quickly filled the vacuum with rumors, many of them reckless and unsupported. One name that repeatedly surfaced online was Moneybagg Yo. To understand why this speculation gained traction, it's important to understand who Moneybagg Yo is within the Memphis rap ecosystem. Born Dario Dwayne White Jr., Moneybagg Yo is one of the most successful artists to emerge from Yo Gotti's CMG label. Signed in 2016, he had already built a strong local following, but his partnership with Gotti helped propel him into mainstream success. Hit records, chart dominance, and high-profile collaborations made him a central figure in the CMG movement. Moneybagg Yo was widely seen as loyal to the CMG family. He frequently credited Yo Gotti and Big Juke for mentoring him and guiding his career. When Big Juke was killed, Moneybagg publicly mourned his death, showing respect and grief like the rest of the camp. Despite this, online speculation spiraled out of control. Within hours of Big Juke's murder, YouTube videos with sensational titles began circulating, claiming that Moneybagg Yo had been arrested, indicted, or implicated in the killing. Some videos went even further, suggesting internal betrayals, getaway vehicles, or secret disputes within CMG. These claims spread rapidly, gaining hundreds of thousands of views, and were often treated by viewers as confirmed facts rather than unverified rumors. However, when examined against official records, these allegations completely fall apart. No police reports, court documents, or statements from the Memphis Police Department mention Moneybagg Yo as a suspect, person of interest, or witness in Big Juke's murder. Reputable news outlets have reported no such involvement. Simply put, there is zero verified evidence connecting him to the crime. The rumors appear to stem from a broader culture of speculation surrounding Memphis street politics and rap affiliations. Moneybagg Yo himself has openly discussed how deeply divided Memphis is along neighborhood and territorial lines. Yo Gotti is from North Memphis, while Moneybagg Yo is from South Memphis, specifically the Walker Homes area. Historically, these areas did not get along, and tensions ran deep. When Moneybagg Yo signed with CMG, some people from his own neighborhood viewed it as betrayal, choosing opportunity over old loyalties. He admitted losing friendships and relationships over the decision, but he also made it clear that he chose the bigger vision: financial freedom, career longevity, and survival over senseless conflict. Throughout his career, Moneybagg Yo has consistently demonstrated loyalty to CMG. There is no credible evidence of any internal beef between him and Big Juke, no documented disputes, and no motive that logically supports the online accusations. Other viral claims, such as unrelated arrests being tied to Big Juke's murder or misleading videos of Yo Gotti reacting to justice being served, have also been debunked. These incidents had nothing to do with the case, but were repackaged for clicks and engagement. The real story, based on verifiable testimony and evidence, points back to the Young Dolph murder trial. Multiple witnesses alleged that Big Juke orchestrated the hit on Dolph. Cornelius Smith testified that he received payments connected to previous violent attempts tied to Dolph's camp. While Hernandez Govan was later acquitted, the testimony remains part of the public record. Big Juke's murder in January 2024 occurred while this information was becoming widely known. The most widely accepted theory, though still unproven, is that his killing was an act of retaliation connected to Dolph's death. The timeline, motive, and context align more closely with this explanation than any alternative theory. That said, it must be emphasized that the case remains officially unsolved. Memphis police have not confirmed a motive, named suspects, or made arrests. Until the legal process runs its course, certainty remains impossible. Federal investigations, asset seizures, and ongoing scrutiny around CMG and related entities add more complexity, but no definitive conclusions. Yo Gotti himself has largely remained silent, focusing on business and honoring his brother privately. At the end of the day, this story isn't just about rap beef or internet rumors. It's about a tragic cycle of violence that leaves families shattered, communities wounded, and justice unresolved. No matter which side people stand on, the reality is painful. 2 lives were lost, and the consequences continue to ripple through Memphis and hip-hop as a whole.